Hey there, I'm Amanda.
And I'm Sherry.
And we are the mother-daughter designers at Grace Monroe Home, where we help you transform the ordinary home into an extraordinary home.
Today we are going to be making a simple ring wreath. So let's get started and show you what we're going to need to make it. We're going to be using these rings, and this actually came from Walmart in a package of 3, but so you can do them in different sizes, but we're going to be using the larger size today.
That's right, and we have some flowers and some greenery that we're going to be using. So I've got 3 large roses, and now you can do this in any color combination that you want to. We're going to do it in a pretty pink color combo, but any color combination will work. So I've got 3 big pretty roses. I have 1 peony. Now this is a lighter shade pink that I'm using. I've got some small pink roses, and then I have some greenery. So I've got some pieces of large fern. I've got some small eucalyptus type greenery that we're going to be using, and then I have some grass. Now you're also going to either need floral wire or zip ties. Now I'm using zip ties. Either will work, but if you're going to be using floral wire, you do want a thicker wire, so maybe a 22 gauge or a 24 gauge. You want to make sure it's pretty thick for this. So let's go ahead and get started making our wreath. So the first thing that we want to do is go ahead and place all of our flowers and greeneries where we want them. So we're going to do this before we zip tie it. We're just going to place everything where we want it. So I'm going to start actually with my fern leaves, and I'm going to put one on one side just like that, and we're just laying them out right now. And if you don't like the way it looks, you can always change it up, but that's why we want to do that before we zip tie or anything. So I'm going to start with my 2 leaves, and then I'm going to go to my roses. And actually, I told you earlier 3 roses, but I think that I'm actually going to just use 2 roses because I think that's going to look better. So I'm going to put 1 on each side, and then I'm going to put my big peony right in the center. And just place it right there where I want it. Now I'm going to put some more greenery in. Put 1 there. And then 1 on the other side like that. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Just tuck it under there. So now I'm going to add some of my little roses. I think I'm going to put 1 right over here on this side and 1 over here, just like that. That already looks really pretty, I think. I'm going to add some to the top and bottom just to kind of give it a little bit of dimension, just like that. And I think I'm going to put 1 over here too. And now I'm going to add my grass. So I'm just going to slide this in up here at the top, and you could really just put it anywhere where you think it has a little hole or it needs a little something. So put some there and over here on this side. Like that. And then I'm just going to put a little piece here in the top. Just like that. Okay, and you can play around with it, and when you get things where you want them and just kind of get an idea of how you want it, then we are going to go ahead and start zip tying things. So now that I've laid out all of my flowers and greenery and I have an idea of how I want the wreath to look, I'm going to go ahead and make my bunches. Now I'm going to do that before I zip tie it actually to the wreath and to the ring. I'm going to make little bunches. So I'm going to first take my fern leaf and then my other greenery, then put it together like that. Okay, then I'm going to add in my rose. And once we get it made in our bunches and we get it wired on the ring, we can then adjust it how we want it to look. I'm going to take one of my small roses, and then one of my grasses. Just pull that out just like that. Okay, so now that I've got it all bunched up together, and I'm just holding it in my hand just like that, and I'm kind of pulling together all of these stems, and I'm going to take a zip tie, and I'm going to zip tie this together into one little bunch. Now, if you don't have a zip tie, like I said earlier, you can use floral wire. You just need to make sure that you've got a thicker gauge, because you want to make sure that all these florals are going to stay together, because then once we do this, we're going to actually zip tie it to the ring. So I'm going to zip tie all of my bunches together. Now I'm zip tying right here in the middle, okay? I don't want to get the end of the bunches. I want to make sure that I get the middle, because then we can cover up our zip ties so it's not going to be seen. And I'm not even going to adjust that yet. We'll adjust it once we put it on our ring. So I'm going to move on to the next one since I have my first bunch made. Now I am going to want to cut off this piece, because of course we don't want that sticking up. But that little part that you can see just a little bit, we're going to cover that up once we get it attached to our ring. Now I'm going to do it with the next one as well. This is my middle bunch. So I've got my peony, and I've got my greenery, and I'm going to attach my roses. Now I'm doing my roses just a little bit different from this one. I've got one going one way and one going another, like that, and I'm holding them right in the middle. And then I'm going to have another one right here on this side. Now, like I said, it looks like they're a little bit close together now, but we're going to adjust it once we get it on our ring and make it look really good. And oops, I forgot one piece of greenery that I want to put in. And now I'm going to zip tie this bunch together. Just like that, and then clip off that piece. Okay, there we go. I have my second bunch. And now I'm going to do my last bunch. So I'm going to do this one just like I did the first one. So I've got my fern here, and then my other greenery. And then I'm going to put in my big pretty rose. And my small rose. I'm actually gonna pull that out just a little bit. And then I've got my greenery. And I'm gonna take it in the middle again. And zip tie it all together. And then clip off the extra. Now that I have all my bunches made, I can go ahead and wire it on to my wire frame here, my ring. Okay, so I'm going to take the first bunch and I'm going to put it on there just like that. I'm going to go ahead and wire it right to that frame with my zip tie. Okay, I want to make sure I get it pretty tight so it doesn't go anywhere. And then we can, after we do this, we can just adjust it and move our flowers and our greenery around so that we have them where we want them. But we just want to get it on the ring right now. Alright, so now I'm going to put my other rose one on here. I'm going to try to move some of this greenery out of the way so I can make sure that it gets on there real secure. I'm going to cut off the rest of that zip tie. Okay. Now I'm going to put my middle. Let's see, I'm going to scoot this over just a little bit. And that's what's great about these. You can kind of adjust them wherever. So if you don't get it right in the center, you can adjust it. Get that zip tie in there. Okay. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of bring some of my greenery around, pull it around, and adjust it and get it back looking more like I wanted it to look. So I'm just going to pull some of this greenery out over here, push some of these roses down just a little bit. Wow, this is really turning out very pretty. I love this because it's simple, but it's just very pretty and elegant. I think this would look great for a wedding or a baby shower. It's just so sweet and pretty. And now if you do have some places, have some little holes where you feel like you might need a little bit of greenery, you can always take some pieces and you could actually use some hot glue and stick it in your hot glue and just glue it in there if you wanted to. Because it'll actually, the glue will make it stick to some of the other greenery, so it'll stay in there really good. But there you go. I think this is so pretty. And it's easy too. Once you get the hang of it, it's very simple to make. So, there you have your finished DIY ring wreath.
Yes, and it turned out so beautifully. And here's a little tip. Just to make sure that it stays really secure on your ring, you may want to zip tie it in several places. Just to make sure that you're holding it really, really good and securely. But it turned out beautifully.
And now, especially if it's really heavy, if you're using florals that are really heavy, you may need to add a little bit extra floral wire, a little bit, you know, a couple more zip ties. But just make sure you zip tie it right to the ring. And if you see any holes or any places where you want to add some greenery, like I mentioned before, you can just stick it in there, hot glue it in there, or, you know, you could just zip tie a few pieces or wire a few pieces straight onto that wire frame.
Yes, but these will be just so beautiful, like you said earlier, for a wedding or for a baby shower or even in a little girl's room or anything or like anywhere, that. How precious in your home would that be? Or just for a spring wreath.
Yeah, as decor. And like we showed you earlier, the package that we got actually has 3.
Yes.
So you could even make some matching ones in some smaller sizes. You would just use less of the greenery and smaller flowers, but you know, it'd be gorgeous beautiful to do that. And then you could hang them on your wall if you wanted to in your home.
Yes.
There's so much you could do with this.
There
and they
really is.
They're simple to make. They're very pretty, and I just love them. They're so sweet and feminine.
That's right. So I hope you enjoy making these.
Definitely. So thank y'all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Y'all be sure to Go to our blog at www.gracemonroehome.com. Check out all of our DIY tips and tutorials. We have a lot of blog posts showing you how to make different wreaths, different styles of wreaths, and just all kinds of crafts and home decor. So check that out, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get notified when we release new videos.
That's right.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yes, and have a blessed day.
Bye.